Hello, Indiana. You're in tune with the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by our good friends at the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids. You may notice a different face here today. You're not seeing Rich Myers. Rich Myers, if you were not aware, if you've missed a show or two, has retired and is in the process of retiring and is the sheriff-elect for Morgan County. So we wish him well with his new endeavors as sheriff, and you'll see my smiling face, really just a face for radio, truly. And also Sergeant John Perrine, who's on the other side with us today. And we also have Trooper Pat Etter joining us today to talk about something that is near and dear to his heart. But before we start, I do believe in one tradition to carry on that Rich established, and that is always to thank Tom Trial, the man behind the scene whose face you never see, that keeps the Roadshow going and keeps us on YouTube, and you can always see our past shows and future shows. So with that, Pat, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here. John, glad you were able to slog your way through the traffic and make it this morning.
Yeah, thank you. Good
to have you here. And what we're going to be talking about today is the Bartram Christmas for Kids, something that's near and dear to your heart. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, and I'd like you to just start out and tell us how this all came about, because unfortunately there's a sad story, but out of that sadness, good things have come.
Right. And like with a lot of troopers that are killed in line of duty, their families do something in honor of them, whether it's the Bartram family or the Trooper Patrick family or Cindy Windenreed and Carolyn Dudley. So it helps. What these survivors do goes a long way at helping a lot of people in the communities. One of the things the Bartram family started is after Pat Bartram was killed in line of duty in 1998, the next year, Kim had started organizing some motorcycle rides, and she donated that money raised to the FOPs for their Shop with a Cop. And that kept growing and growing to the point where she decided in 2012 she wanted to start her own foundation to be able to run that and continue that on. So in 2013 we established the Trooper Bartram Memorial Foundation, and 2014 was our first motorcycle ride, official motorcycle ride with the actual charity, and our first Trooper Bartram Christmas for Kids. Before that, the Troopers Association, Indiana State Police Troopers Association, had taken that program over a little bit and spread that money around the state and done the Shop with a Cop and with the FOPs, different things. So it's the same type of program. It's just we're running that, and
so you've been doing that since 2014, and it's been a success. Typically, what's your goal as far as money to raise? And tell us about the event that's coming up December 8th.
We started out in 2014 with just under 100 kids, when we spent about $125 per child, and we determined that filled a shopping cart up with their needs for clothing and some toys. Last year, we did 320 kids and spent over $40,000 that day on them.
Wow, that's impressive.
That was a good year. So that's kind of our goal, is to hit the year prior. This year, unfortunately, we didn't quite meet that criteria in the fundraising, so we're still working on that. We're still accepting donations. We have another full week that we can take donations, and if we get more, then we'll take more kids. We'll just keep adding on to that.
And if those donations come in after next Saturday, that'll just carry over to next year.
They'll carry over to the next year's. 100% of all of our donations go to our Christmas for Kids event in
Pat,
December.
tell people how they can donate.
You can get on our website, which is bartrammemorial.com, and there's a tab on there to donate. There's a P.O. box. You can just mail a check to Kim or I, and it'll get deposited in the account, and or just get a hold of us and we can tell you how.
And that's all one word, BartramMemorial.com.
Yes.
BartramMemorial.com.
Right. So, and it'll take you to our old website. We're building a new website now that should come out in a couple weeks. It'll be a little easier to navigate, and that'll have all the pictures of past events, the motorcycle rides, a lot of pictures, things like that. So So visit that. There's also another program that we've with Amazon Smile. So if you get on smile.amazon.com, and there's a tab on there for Bartram Memorial Foundation and Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything, but when you buy something from Amazon, that donates to the charity.
Oh, that's a nice way to do both.
So every month we get a little bit from Amazon too, based off that. And really, we've been trying to push the more corporate sponsorship. So, if you work for a company or a business that that wants to give, especially here at the end of the year, it's all tax deductible. And we really rely on some bigger corporate donations to make ends meet.
Now, John, you've participated in these a number of years. Can you talk about what your participation has been?
Yeah, it's an absolutely incredible and an unforgettable experience. It's something that takes just a few hours of your time, of a Saturday morning or whatever, and you make a lasting bond and relationship with this child or these children. And I've been fortunate enough to take several children shopping over the course of several years, and it's just something you never forget.
So what's the most popular things that you find that with the kids that you've worked with in the past? How old are they typically?
I've had all ages, from young toddlers all the way up to teenagers. But you know what the most incredible thing to me and the most heartwarming thing is, the vast majority of them, when I take them shopping, they want to buy something for someone else. They want to buy a present for mom, a present for little brother, little sister. And that's just, they've got a limited amount of money to spend, and they're looking for gifts for other people, and that's just so heartwarming.
That is a lot that we all could learn from that.
Yeah.
So what other things do we need to know about the Christmas for Kids and the volunteers and other agencies that you reach for and look to help?
Well, this year's event is is on December 8th at the Walmart in Greenwood off of County Line Road in Emerson. And that'll start about 9:30. People start showing up. 10 o'clock, our program will start. We'll have a few words, and then we'll take people out shopping. If you happen to be out and about that day, if you want to stop by the Walmart and see how we do this, you're more than welcome to. You can come in and donate that day. We'll put it right into the cash register. And because a lot of times we go a little bit over our budget, and a lot of these guys that take someone shopping, I've seen pull money out of their own pockets. I've seen officers buy a bicycle for a child before that was completely on top of what we give them to spend. So we're always, encouraging the public to come out and see how we do this and what we do, and it's a good experience.
And it's nice to hear those stories, and we don't talk about that to brag on ourselves, because that's something that's done from the heart. These troopers,
right.
And you also it's not just state police that help you with this. You've got what other agencies?
I invite everybody. Every sheriff's department, every police department in central Indiana. We even have some come from South Bend. Sometimes they'll come down that have been involved in the Trooper Bartram Foundation, or that Kim has helped if they've had a loved one die or something like that have come in. Southport Police, of course, has a very strong bond with us, and after the passing of Lieutenant Aaron Allen, and they bring I think it's nearly a required event for them. So they bring like 35 officers.
Well, it's right in their backyard.
It's right in their backyard. So they help out a tremendous amount with help raising money and things like that. And we have a second one also that we don't talk about as much. It's not our biggest one. Like the Walmart, we're going to try to take around 200 kids.
So, well, now's the time to talk about that second one.
So we're still trying to meet that goal, 200. If we don't raise enough money, we'll have to not take that many. But what we want to do, or what we will do, is the next weekend we go to the Meyer store, which is off Main Street and 135 in Greenwood. And the Meyer store is gracious enough they nearly fund 50 kids. Just themselves.
The store does.
Yeah, just themselves. And just that store.
How long has that Meyer participated?
We've done it down there for 3 maybe years or so. And those kids are all special needs kids. And they come from the Cornerstone Autistic School. And so we kind of separate that, so it's not as big of an event. It's a little quieter, but we do have some officers come down and help us with that, and And so those are kind of the two different events we do. So hopefully 200, 250 kids total this year. We won't quite meet that 320 like we did last year. And last year we did a few other things too. We had a family that was in some desperate need, and we spent about $1,000 on groceries for them over a course of time to get them back on their feet. And we went to Lowe's in Mooresville, and they donated a bunch of wood, and we made a wheelchair ramp for their disabled child because they just didn't have the funds to. So we had some Bartram volunteers and built that wheelchair ramp. So we're always looking to do things like that throughout the year. And, you know, troopers have come to me and said, hey, I've had a case where some kids are really needy. Can you help me out? And sure enough, we'll always do that. If we have the money, we'll do it. We don't leave any money in the bank.
So where do you find the children? Do people in the community contact you?
Sometimes they do. I've gotten referrals before personally that people have called me and said, hey, I have a neighbor that I think could use your help, or other troopers or police officers have come to us, Southport Police, when they run into somebody working that need it. We get from schools, referrals from schools and churches and different social service agencies. We try to work with like the FOP and Salvation Army, United Way to try to, you know, spread that help around. So if it's not us helping, they're helping, or if they're over their limit, maybe we can take some of theirs, things like that. So it's all going toward the same goal.
If you're just joining us, either listening on the radio or watching us on YouTube, I am Captain Dave Burston, Chief Public Information Officer with the Indiana State Police. You are listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, and my guests today are Master Trooper Pat Etter and also Sergeant John Perrine, and we are talking about the Bartram Christmas for Kids program. And Pat, this has been near and dear to you for how many years?
Well, I've been doing the Shop with a Cop program since I became a trooper. So 24 years I've been a trooper, and really 23. I think my rookie year I missed out when I was sent up to Lowell District, but after that transferred down to my home district.
Couldn't find anything charitable to do up in Lowell?
Well, a few things, but so really I've been going to this every year, and actually Kim would come to us and said, hey, I raised $15,000 and I'm giving it to the FOP, but I really need a bunch of troopers. I want troopers representing Pat in Pat's honor for doing this.
And something that's neat, I've talked to Kim about this, is why she chose this. There's so many charities that she could do, and why she chose an actual Shop with the Cops. So talk about Trooper Bartram and his involvement in that, and that's why she chose.
Well, it's funny, there was a story brought up the other day about why we did choose this, and somebody said, well, Pat doesn't even like kids. And she said, well, neither does Pat. But neither Pat likes kids. Neither one of us had kids, but it's about helping other people. And so Pat would always go to the Shop with the Cops like I would, and that was a way that Kim saw a need to fill, and wanted to continue that, and just in his honor. So that's kind of why we chose that. And then when I started helping her with the rides a little bit more every year, and she came to me and wanted to start the foundation, and there we went from there, and it's grown every year since then. Hopefully it continues to grow, and we do some good things for people in the community.
That's excellent. What I'd like you to do is to one more time run down the highlights, because we're just wrapping up. We've got about a minute and a half left. The location at Myers, the date and time.
So we have the Walmart December 8th in County Line in Emerson. Both are about 9:30, and then the next weekend is the 15th at the Myers store on 135 and near Main Street in Greenwood. We'll take about hopefully 200 to the Walmart, hopefully 50 to the Meyer. Check back on our website. Our upcoming fundraiser events, we're going to have 2 Monte Carlo nights, I believe, one in the spring and one in the fall. So all that information will be on our website. So that's a way to come out and participate in those silent auctions and events that helps us raise money.
Give that website again.
BartramMemorial.com.
BARTRAM Memorial, all one word, .com. John, any closing thoughts?
Oh, just, we're coming into the season here, and this is a great start for us, and it really hits home, and it's a great opportunity. I hope all the police officers that listen will take their time on that Saturday morning, come out and help us out.
We need uniformed officers to be out. And
we'd even take retired officers. If a retired officer wants to come out, we'd have them.
And I think the civilian employees of police departments,
they've all been invited, and some of the officers will bring their families to help with them, and so it's a good event.
Well, this is a great event. I hope people will take advantage of coming out to help you make it a success. I want to thank everybody for listening to the Roadshow today. Continued good luck to Rich Myers. And as he would say, Roadshow out.